Stampers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm excited to share 3 beautiful cards using Stampin' Up's traditional Wreath 3D embossing folder. I'm going to start off with a Thanksgiving card using a new technique for me. It's called the Joseph's Coat technique. It's rich, colorful, and perfect for fall. Then I'll show you 2 more ideas using the same folder, a classic Christmas version and a soft, elegant wedding card in eucalyptus tones. So make sure you stay to the end to see all the cards, and let's get started. So here is the folder. It's a great big folder. I'm also going to use a couple of sentiments from traditional labels, and it comes with coordinating dies, and we are going to use this die right there. So let me bring in all the cardstock. Let me show you the card first, okay? So here's the card. It's got a lot of texture to it, a lot of colors, beautiful fall colors. And then inside, I found an old stamp I had that said Happy Thanksgiving. I think on the next one that I make, I'm going to actually, I'm going to put a different sentiment inside, then I'm going to write Happy Thanksgiving. So you'll see how I'm doing that one when we make this card here. So we need a Timid Tiger card base, and that is 4 1/4 by 11, and then I scored it at 5 1/2, so it's going to be a vertical fold. Then I have 2 pieces of Mossy Meadow 5 1/4 by 4, and then for the white inside, it's 5 by 3 3/4, and the front I'm going to start off with 5 1/4 by 4, but after I'm done, I'm going to cut it down to 5 by 3 3/4. Then I have a scrap for our sentiment. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my white piece, that's 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to use the embossing folder, but I'm going to use the opposite side. So whenever you have an embossing folder, the Stampin' Up logo is the front of the card, and that's going to give you the raised embossed feeling, okay? But I want it to be the debossed side. So the front of my card is going to be this way. So I'm going to look at how I want this positioned, and I'm going to move my paper around till I get it just where I want it. And I want the wreath mostly on this side of my card, and I'm going to put a sentiment on the other side. So let me show you the sample one more time. So see, I have the wreath over here, the whole of the wreath here. So it's on the opposite side. So I'm putting my paper over here on the left, and I'm going to line it up. I'm going to cover as much of the paper as I can with that embossed image. Okay, now I'm going to run it through the machine, and I will be right back. Okay. So this is the debossed side. And what we're going to do now, we're going to do some fun coloring. So I'm going to bring in a bunch of my stamping blends. So I have lots of fall colors here, and we'll talk about them as I start coloring. And let's see here. I'm going to bring in a scrap, and I'm just going to start coloring in. The first thing I did was I brought in a Darling Duckling stamping blend, and I colored in all the berries with that stamping blend. And again, I'm on the debossed side, so it's not the raised side, it's the other side. So I'm going to color in all these berries with the dark Darling Duckling. Okay, then I'm going to grab, this one is Dark Pumpkin Pie, and I just colored in a few of the different leaves. I think I'm actually going to color in what looks like 3 flowers over here, and I'm going to color those in Cherry Cobbler, Dark Cherry Cobbler. So I'm just coloring them in. Actually, my Cherry Cobbler is a little bit dry here. So I'm going to color it in with Light Cherry Cobbler. Okay, now I'm going to bring in, this one is Dark Pumpkin Pie. So I'm just going to color in Dark Pumpkin Pie here and there on a few of these different leaves. No rhyme or reason. Now I'm going to bring in another color, And this time I'll bring in dark Calypso Coral. And when you're coloring, you're going to see, it might feel like it's a little bit difficult to color this in, like you're not sure where you're coloring. So I'm not being precise. I'm not worried about it. Just kind of filling in these little divots, the little divots of leaves, little hollow spaces. And I'm not being perfect. And you're going to see at the end, it's all going to come together. So don't worry too much about coloring this in too perfectly, because I don't really think you can. Just trying to spread the colors out. So we have a little bit of the fall colors here, there, and everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to bring in, this is an old color. This is dark cinnamon cider. But of course you can use any of the browns. You can use pecan pie. Okay, what is this one? This one is light real red. And what do I have here? Dark Timid Tiger. Here's Dark Old Olive. Oh, I think I'm going to do Light Old Olive. I'm bringing Light Old Olive. If you hold it up and you kind of angle it, you can see little places that you might want to add a little bit more color to. Okay, so it doesn't look like much right now. We can always go back and add more color, but now we're going to take the Mossy Meadow ink pad. I'm going to use this tip up here, this side up here, and I'm just going to scrape it across my paper. I'm going to drag it across my paper. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And it looks like it's kind of like wood grain because you can kind of see the streaks in it, right? But now I'm going to go back and I'm going to bring in my, this one is the dark cinnamon cider. I'm going to kind of go over where the branches are. And anywhere there's a white spot, I can fill it in with any color I want. Okay, so I think I'm going to bring in some of the Calypso Coral. And you can just fill it in whatever color, wherever you want. And you can have half a leaf in one color, half in another. You can leave some of the white spots showing. Okay, so far so good. That's what it's supposed to look like. So now I'm going to bring in my little scrap here. And I'm going to bring in the sentiment, sending love and joy. I thought that would be perfect for any season, any occasion. I'm going to stamp that in early espresso. Okay, now I'm going to bring in that banner die. Again, that's from the traditional label dies. And I'm going to line it up. And I'm going to cut it out. And then we're going to put that on the front of our card. We're also going to put a bow and some embellishments. And we're going to layer it with some pretty cardstock, and you will be amazed at how pretty this card turns out. Okay, so here's our banner, and let's bring in our card base. Again, that is Timid Tiger, and I have a piece of Mossy Meadow, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the Mossy Meadow piece down. I'm going to glue our stamped image down, and then we're going to add our sentiment. Okay, before I add this piece, I'm going to cut it down. Remember I said we started with 5 1/4 by 4, and I want it to be 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm just going to shorten this a little bit on each side. Okay, now I'm going to glue that to the front of the card. Okay, our sentiment's going to go right there, and I'm going to make a bow. So I have the Timid Tiger ribbon here. We're going to put our bow up here, And our sentiment right there, I'm going to pop that up on dimensions. And these are the 25-27 in color flat pearls. I'm going to put a couple of those here and there on this card. Okay, so let's do the inside now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Mossy Meadow piece on the inside, glue that down, and then we'll do a little stamping. Okay, bring back in Early Espresso. And another sentiment from Traditional Labels is Just For You. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on the inside. And then remember how I trimmed this front piece down? Well, I have a little piece left. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it right there at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to glue that to the inside of the card. Make sure you stick around because I have 2 more cards I want to show you. I think you'll be amazed that you can use this Wreath embossing folder for all occasions, not just Christmas. Okay, there's card number 1. I love the sentiment. I love the colors. It's just really, really pretty in person. So again, we used a wreath and we turned it into a Thanksgiving card. So it's just for you. And I can write my little note. I'll put Happy Thanksgiving and sign it. I just thought that turned out really, really pretty. So easy too, right? It's fun to color it in because it's like, what am I creating here? It looks like a little bit of a mess, but I think when it's all done, it's just very surprising. Okay, let me show you. So I have a Christmas card that I made. So again, I used part of the wreath, and this is the regular embossed side. So it's raised. Once I embossed it on the white cardstock, I took a sponge dauber in garden green and I just colored in all of the leaves, all of the branches, and then I colored in the berries with my Stampin' Blend. And then that sentiment is from Ornamental Christmas. And then Wishing You Peace and Joy. And that big bow, let me show you where that's from. That big bow is that bow right there from Party Celebrations. I love when you get a stamp set that has little images for several occasions. So this is very versatile too. So I put the bow right there and I stamped the sentiment in garden green. Now wait till you see this card. This is the very first card that I made using the Wreath embossing folder. And my daughter's going to a wedding, and she said that the bride, one of her best friends, loves shiny stuff. She loves bling and just shiny things, and her color is eucalyptus. So this is the card that I made for her. And I had some glitter paper. And again, I did the same technique that we did today, except I didn't color the leaves in. So I embossed it, and then I dragged the, I think this is Just Jade. So I colored that, I dragged the ink over that, and it gave me that pretty textured look. And then again, this is from the Traditional Labels. And the sentiment is from Lifetime of Love. So it says, congratulations on your wedding day. And I backed it with that pretty glimmer paper, and I put a bow on it with a little bit of silver edging. And inside it's embossed in silver, and it says, wishing you a lifetime of love and happiness. And that's embossed in silver. So I just love, love, love the way this card turned out. And if you're interested and you would like all of the sizes and measurements and supplies that I used, I do send them out with a $30 purchase at my online store this week. And that's it. Thanks so much for crafting with me today. I hope these 3 wreath cards inspired you to pull out your embossing folders and try something new. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. And I'll see you next week with another fun project. Until then, don't be shy. Stamp and shout.